everybody. We are back once again to make some fun outfits. I don't know how I did that. I accidentally clicked on the break scene. Sorry. It must be a key binding or something I didn't know about. But anyways, we're gonna start with Hazel, then do Griff, then do Russell. I figured we would do like 3 rough sketches, voice low. I think that's his music down just a touch, or voice up. Voice can't go up anymore, so music down it is. Here, I'll move the microphone just a bit closer. See if that helps. There it is. Is it good? Okay. That's good. Speak louder, just scream. This is my max volume. Anyways, we're gonna start with Hazel. We're gonna do like 3 rough sketches, come up with a couple ideas, then do Griff, then do Russell. Because Russell is the one I have the least amount of ideas for, and Hazel is the one I have the most amount of ideas for. Like how that is your max volume. That's my max speaking volume. I don't yell at you all the time. Okay. But anyways, so I already have some outfit ideas that I'm gonna rough out with you guys. They're a little bit vague, especially Russell's and Griff's, but I think I have a good idea of what I want to do for Hazel. We're not making like a full outfit, like pants, shirt, jacket, like a whole thing. This is kind of just a like, I think for them, clothing is purely, like it needs to have a purpose. It's not just decorative, but like even animals get cold in the winter, even animals can die of hypothermia, and I think Hazel especially would get really chilly in the winter just because she's so thin and has shorter fur than Griff and Russell. So it's kind of like they're just wearing like a little bit extra to keep the snow off. But anyways, let's jump into it. So the first idea I came up with was just like a basic kind of cloak. And a little bit smaller. And I was thinking the one, like it's basically just a really big blanket, but with armholes in it. So no proper sleeves, really. It's just kind of to keep snow off your back. But I think with Hazel, because, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in her bedroom she has a sewing machine in the corner. She does like to work with textiles a bit. I don't think she'd be amazing at it necessarily, but she likes to make their winter cloaks and any necessary clothing. And I feel like she's the kind of person who would like embroider along the edges and do fun stuff like that. And then I think for this kind of cloak look, I want it to have multiple layers. Make them address the elephant. Marshall Control S. Marshall my feller. There are some. Marshall tell us. Tell you what. Differences in the new page. The new shipment. The stuff, if you will. Yeah. And? Okay. I don't think having a hood would look really good with this. Just because her neck is so long that the hood would end up just being so big. So I think for now I'm gonna start with like some kind of cuff for like lining. try another version with the hood later, but I think this makes a bit more sense for now. It was different in the Coffee and Patreon pages. Correct. Marshall, your fandom has brought me back into art again and I'm seeing real improvement. Thank you. Well, that's good. Good job, man. That is always nice to hear. A wonderful compliment is of just my art managed to get someone else into art. Wonderful. Love to hear it. Imagine Griff in a maid outfit? No. I don't want to. Okay, and then probably be some kind of. I don't know if I like this top part now that I'm seeing it. Let's keep it basic for now and we can build on it after. And then I think probably just a really basic, just open in the front with a clasp. My best approximation of a straight-ish line. This is awful. Looks like a comfy raincoat. Yeah, and that is kind of the idea with this, of like, it's to keep a little bit of heat in, and it's to keep like water and snow off of you. But like, I don't think they would need a whole lot of help keeping warm beyond that, just because of fur and everything, and like that's why I don't have them wearing clothes 90% of the time. Because like if you put a jacket on your husky, it's gonna overheat. So it's just enough coverage to not die of hypothermia. Yeah, something like this, I think. And then I am just gonna lower this opacity down just a little bit more. So it's a little bit easier to see just the clothing. This design is a little basic. But works for what's needed, I guess. And I think like boots or some kind of foot covering would be good for them as well, just because their feet would get cold walking around in the snow. But I think for Hazel, because she has hooves, it might just be like a basic foot wrap or something starting around the ankle. And something like this. Or like ankle wrap, don't make fun of me, Jasper. OMG, like matriarch, but yeah, but hers are bandages. This is more like, just like scrap cloth. And then some like fingerless gloves, cause same thing. I feel like it'd already be really hard, with like the type of hooves I gave them to like pick stuff up. Like you lose some of the dexterity that humans have. So I don't think they would want to necessarily cover their hooves in like a full glove. Sad news, Marshall looked you up on Google to get to coffee and Google AI summary called you Marshy. I hate that. I don't like that at all. That is not good to hear. Is that your fault, Jasper? You son of a bitch. Hey, other Marshall. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, AI is going too far with this one. M.A. Marshall, also referred to as Marshy. No, I'm not. To be fair, the Google AI told me Griff was a bear today. Oh, right, I forgot about that. Bro, Marshy, why is AI talk to you like it's cool with you like that? Literally, we're not friends. Let's give the cuff a little bit of fluff. Yeah, I'm thinking it's feathers, like ostrich feathers, or some other kind, because working with just like normally you look at like a fur jacket and it's because it's like skinned fur, and obviously they're not going to use that. But like they would use like wool or stuff that was shed and then use, you know, woven in some way. But they would use feathers. We leave the skin on when we peel people. Yeah, I think something like this would be good. Or at least for the first outfit. I do think that she would add a little, like I said before, embroidery or something to it. So I'm gonna add, maybe like down the shoulders. We also don't want to make these too complicated, especially Hazel being the main character I have to draw over and over and over again. Every extra line is an extra second that I have to, you know, have the pencil down for a panel. So you don't want them to be too complicated, but I do want there to be some kind of added design to her outfits, because it makes sense for her. So here's some simple swirls and some leaves. Something like this. Sad news too for Marshall and Jasper. My wrist is basically fully healed now. Why is that bad news? Yeah, that's good news, Luke. That's what it's supposed to do. It's bad news for the rest of y'all. This is a threat. Not a very scary one. You should work on them a bit. Okay, these leaves are not the best, but they work as a placeholder. much I like this. I think maybe if I move them a bit. Oh, I forgot this one. I think they're just a little too close to the cuff up here. Let's move down just a little bit. There, and I think the extra, having them right against the line here is also not good. It makes it just a little bit busy. We want a little space in between these two things. A little bit better. They're still kind of rough. I think this is making it look a little awkward. And we'll fix this one. Oops. That's not bad. I let Ruskin go down to see the Titanic on a submarine. Uh-oh. Is that the deer from Fortnite, bro? I don't know what the deer from Fortnite looks like. Okay, I think that's a good first one. I'm going to think about giving her a hat. She looks like a grandma. That's funny. She would wear grandma outfits. But yeah, I don't know what kind of hat I should be giving her with these big old ears. I don't know if they would want to cover them. Just because hearing is like one of her main, I don't want to say defenses, but like it's the first thing, it's her main thing going for her in seeing a danger, like with the hyenas. Seeing. I don't have the right words today, apparently. Okay, so now I think I want to do something with like long sleeves, a little bit more lavish, a little extra. Because I saw a jacket earlier and I like the shape of it, so we're gonna try it on her. So we're gonna give her some long sleeves. Real baggy. This is kind of the goofy one because I don't think this is going to be the winner, but I think it'll look fun. Although now that I'm looking at this jacket design again, it kind of gives the vibe of like widower who definitely murdered her husband. So probably not the vibe for Hazel. But again, I really like the shape of this jacket, so I wanted to draw it anyways. I'm obviously not doing a like, I'm not like looking at a jacket and then copying it. I'm looking at multiple jackets and taking bits of the design from each that I like and trying to merge them together into something a little unique. A little different. So we'll see how it turns out. Hazel with a husband, doubt it. Also, I definitely wouldn't want to have to draw this in the comic over and over again. if we get to the winter section of the story we have planned. Or when we get to it, but it's a ways away, so. The coat gives Krill vibes. Nice. Some big buttons. Marshall, how would Graycove characters take their coffee/tea? I don't think they would have access to coffee. I don't know enough about growing coffee beans, but that doesn't seem like something that you can easily do in North America. So I don't think they would have coffee. I think they would only have tea. And I think most of their teas would be from natural herbs that are easier to grow in North America, so like peppermint, stuff like that. I don't think Griff would be a big tea guy. Hazel is definitely a big tea guy. Hazel doesn't pay for the coffee in her own comic. Villainous. Would Russell like tea with sugar in it? Now I'm thinking about it. How does sugarcane, or where does sugarcane grow? I don't know enough about that to have an answer. They would definitely take a lot of honey in their tea. And then I think we're gonna do some fur cuffs. If this is her super lavish fancy coat. Heading on this, for some reason, is making me think of like Mrs. Claus, like Santa Claus. I'm not 100% sure why, and I kind of don't like it, but we're gonna keep this for now. Sugarcane grows on blocks adjacent to water, Marshall. Right, okay. Minecraft rules, got it. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Who would drink the most honey in their tea? I think Russell would. Marshall, is there a reason Hazel looks a bit more gray by the end of today's page? Yeah, so we're doing it effect over as like an overlay on each page for this section, where we're adding really bright colors on an overlay layer to kind of give that like dreamy look to it. So for that page we're using a combination of oranges and blues, which when you put blue over top of Hazel it kind of grays her out. So it's just that there isn't any special meaning towards it. I was just trying to add that like kind of dreamy quality with extra color. I had another idea. Right, maybe add like a cuff at the bottom here. Yeah, this coat's definitely giving I murdered my husband vibes. Slash Santa Claus for some reason, which is a really bad mix. Yeah, oh no, color theory. I also had a dream where Hazel was beating up my annoying older brother. It's weird how many Graycove themed dreams you guys are having, because I've never had one, I don't think. And I'm curious, are you dreaming that you're reading the page and that's what's happening? Or are you reading like, are you dreaming in cartoon? Like you're just seeing a cartoony world around you? Because I've never had that happen to me. And I don't usually dream about Graycove stuff at all. If anything, I'll be dreaming about like life stuff, and like the comic will be mentioned in like a you need to work on this. I haven't had a single dream that I can remember in the last few years. Bro, I wish. Okay, what sort of embroidery would she have on this? Maybe just like a line going down, following the buttons. I feel like I had an idea for embroidery when I started, and then I kind of lost it. They're seeing animated Hazel in pure Roger Rabbit style. That's kind of what I was wondering too. Is it a Roger Rabbit scenario? Embroidery that says you'll never find my husband's body. LMAO. Dreaming in a cartoon or comic when I read or watch the show too much. I mean, I've had the thing where I'm watching a show too much, or like I watched it right before bed and then I see like characters pop up in that dream, but it's always like a human person, or like a realistic looking person. It's never just like a cartoon popping up Roger Rabbit style. I'm gonna try and remember what embroidery idea I had. Well, I just add a little bit of fluff to this. Oh, I remember now. Okay, I was thinking it would be like bird feathers because she loves magpies. So maybe starting like here-ish. And then this coat would just be like nice gradients of blue. In my nightmare, I dreamt I was on my phone reading it, and it was late, or I was late to the page posting too. It was so vivid. I remember the art style was slightly different. That's wild. Big fan of the webcomic, keep doing great stuff. Well, thank you, that's very kind of you. We really appreciate that. I've been in the field so much with bug screen on that most of my dreams right now... Dreams right now are me waking up in bed to the bugs crawling all over the net in front of my face, so that's fun. Yeah, that's not great. Yeah, if you don't like that bug nightmare, I had one years ago where I was vomiting spiders. And I'm terrified of spiders. They freak me out. Do not care for them. So that wasn't fun. I didn't like that. And it was like also a work stress dream, because I get those a lot. So it was at my workplace of the time. Oh my, wow, Marshall. I've had some terrible nightmares. I don't know what it is, but I get nightmares and stress dreams and stuff very easily. One of the worst ones to date, which I would like to eventually use for like a horror comic. I don't remember the start of the dream or any of the, like the normal nightmare stuff that happened, but the worst part was at the very end. A woman ran up to me, grabbed me by the shoulders, and said, "You need to wake up, there's someone in the house." And then I woke up, where I was still living at my parents' house, completely home alone, and that was terrifying. That was awful. Obviously, there was no one in the house, but there was one of our dogs was walking around upstairs above my head, so I think my brain heard that and was like, let's scare this person a little bit. This would be fun. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this now. It looks more like scales than feathers. And I don't think adding more detail is what's gonna fix it. I think that would be like a color thing more than anything. Worst nightmare to date. Don't date any of your nightmares. I shouldn't have to say that. Who is more autistic, Griff or Russell? I don't think Russell's autistic. And I don't think Griff is either. But if I had to choose between them, I think Griff. Like, Russell I picture with more of like an ADHD thing going on, but not autism. Sounds like anxiety and personal insecurity. Marshall always has dreams about me being mean to them. That's true. They have to be mean to Marshall in real life to make their dreams come true. Not the best, not the worst, but... I had a bunch of nightmares really young where my house would be destroyed. Oh yeah, I've had those too. For some reason, a lot of nightmares about giants when I was a kid. Or just like smashing the house. And then a lot of nightmares do trolls. Yeah, a lot of troll nightmares when I was a kid. Like, between like 5 and 10, I think. And then a couple of nightmares I remember distinctly about the bear from The Fox and the Hound. I had troll nightmares from the Spiderwick Chronicles. Nice. Yeah, so far I definitely like this one more than the one we just drew. I don't think it really suits Hazel, to be honest. I think she would prefer the practicality of the first outfit. But, like I said, this was kind of just the fun one that I wanted to try out. Because I saw a jacket with a similar vibe going for it and was like, that's kind of fun. I thought the river troll was gonna climb up the 200-foot bank by my house and reach in the window to snatch me out. Dreams where you wake up after another dream inside that dream are horrifying. Bro, there was one that I had, it was like a half lucid dream where I knew I was in a nightmare. I couldn't change anything in the nightmare, but I knew I was in a nightmare. But anytime I woke up and fell back asleep, I would end up right back in the same nightmare. So I was just like, well, I'm really tired and I need to keep sleeping, so I'm just gonna exist in this nightmare on purpose for a while. And then if I see like demon or whatever coming at me, then I'll just wake myself up. And I did that for the whole night, and it was awful. I had the classic alien abduction dream, and they told me if you tell Marshall, we're gonna come back and abduct both of you. So I woke up and immediately told Marshall. Yeah, we'll get abducted by aliens together as a family. Okay, we're gonna do the final one. I know I said earlier that they wouldn't wear like a ton of clothing and stuff, but the final idea I had involved just like pants and a really big scarf, basically. And similar to the one we just did, I don't know how good it's gonna look, but I had the idea in my brain and I need to put it on paper. Or screen, I guess, not paper. So she gets pants. Red pants. I hadn't thought of the color. Maybe. So we're gonna do like a really big over the shoulder, like a truly just huge baggy scarf. Which again, I think would also be really bad for the comics. Just because drawing fabric can be really tricky. And while I'm usually not opposed to a challenge, I already learned how annoying it can be with the cowl that I gave the king. Having to draw that over and over again, I was getting really sick of it. Like when I say scarf, this is basically a blanket. Marshall, I actually have diagnosed autism. You can probably tell by the type of comments I post. I mean, not in particular. Not that I've noticeably thought this guy has autism. Dude, I'm cursing myself because an upcoming character in my comic is wearing a full body hooded robe and I suck at fabric. Yeah, your best bet is to either get a piece of fabric that you can use to take like your own reference pictures, or to like, sometimes people online will take multiple pictures of like a hooded cloak from different angles as an art reference, so that can be really helpful. But yeah, work from something if you can. That makes it a lot easier. That's also a problem I have with fabric. If I'm trying to just like wing it, I have a really hard time. But having reference photos can make a world of difference. Okay, then the pants I pictured her wearing are like really baggy. And I don't really draw a whole lot of pants for obvious reasons. And this is not a good pose to show really big baggy pants, but I was picturing like baggy down and then like a wrap to cinch it at the bottom with the like really low crotch, and then also tightened up here. So it's just like really big baggy pants that I don't know how well they would hold heat in, but they'd probably be really comfy. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm really loving this one, but that is also how I felt about the previous one. Give some like little tassels or something. And I guess we could play with more ideas for shoes. Maybe this one is more of a like while you're in the house waiting for the fireplace to heat the house up a bit better. Like it went out at some point in the night and now you're cold. Waiting for it to get going again. Yeah, maybe some boots. I'm kind of just picturing boots with like the two toes. Looks a little silly, but there's something basic, easy to make. Financially, where does the Red Deer family stand in Graycove, not compared to the Ultrali? I mean, they would be pretty well off, just in Herb has what I think would be a pretty well-paying job. Like, he acts as like an apothecary and a healer. I think that would make a fair amount of money. Hazel, before being a guard, would have been helping him with that, so that just helps with their family business. And then Russell does crime, and crime pays well. So I think they would not be like rich, it wouldn't be like two-surgeon household kind of rich. But I do think they would be financially well off. I don't think they would be having to worry about like making rent, not that they even pay rent because they own their house, but you know what I mean. Okay, so Marshall says it's okay to commit crime. Good to know. I'm saying it's okay for fictional characters to commit crime. You do what you want. I can't stop you. These look very silly. Marshall, you should just stuff Russell in Hazel's scarf and that's his outfit. Yeah, no, he's not like a scammer. He's like a smuggler. Okay, these aren't horrible. I do think this one is my favorite, and I do want to play around with it a little bit more just to really nail it down, decide if I want her to have a hood or not, have a hat, something like that. But I think for now we should move on to Griff, just to take a break from this one a little bit. Okay. So I don't think Griff would need as much clothing as Hazel would need, just because he has thicker fur. He's got a bit bigger of a build. So I think he would just run a bit warmer than she would naturally. And then we already made a joke of it, but there's the comic of like winter coats where they get super fluffy. Let me just pull up what I saved for reference photos for Griff. Okay, so I picture him having more of like a kind of poncho looking thing, like no proper sleeves, just a very basic. And I think for this we're gonna do mostly that design, but we're just gonna play around with some different variants. So I think for this one, it's not going to be a super long one. It's just going to go to like here-ish. Give him a scarf. I think, I mean, we could give him also like kind of like a cowl or something attached. And we could also give him a hood. So let's do, this one is the, actually let's make it, this one the really long one. This is the most covered one. This is for blizzards. And maybe it comes to 2 points like this. And I'm kind of on the fence if I want their hoods to cover their ears or have like a little slot for them to poke out. Because like I said earlier, I think they would rely pretty heavily on their hearing, and it'd be kind of uncomfortable to have your ears covered. This looks silly. Assassin's Creed Griff Edition. I don't think you'd make a good assassin. Actually, one of the reference images I was looking at had this line off center. So let's try that. It's more of a from here and then it cuts down like this. I feel like Griff would need the least wolf-like snow. Yeah, that's how I feel about it as well. I don't think he would necessarily need something like this. I think this kind of outfit would be like severe weather, in the middle of a blizzard, like no quick access to the indoors kind of one. Man, he looks like an apprentice. Oops. I had a dream about where Griff was speaking Russian. I couldn't understand him. That's kind of a look. What else could we add to this? I don't think his would have like a lot of decoration or anything like that on it. I don't think it would be like embroidered or anything. I think the wolf family would be buying their cloaks from a store, because like that's a lot of kids to have to make clothes for, so I don't think they would. And then one of the other pictures I saved has a version where they have like different pockets and stuff sewn into it. You don't think you got the Weasley family fit? I don't think anyone could make that many sweaters without literal magic. So maybe there's like a band or something on this one with some pockets built in. Don't you dare doubt Molly Weasley's capabilities. I'm not doubting Molly's, I'm doubting Iris's capabilities, because she would have to make it all from scratch, and she has 9 children, question mark? Something like that. Something like this. Does this look silly? It feels silly. This. Well, Iris sure seemed eager to have Shirley out of the equation. She's just tired. It's raining again and there's thunder again. Yeah, there's thunder happening a little bit here. It kind of calmed down, but if the stream suddenly cuts out, it's because we lost power. But I think it should be fine. Too low. Assassin Griffin. Okay, I'm getting too many comparisons to that, so I might have to go for a different look here. No, he's just multi-classed. I don't know how I feel about this one now that I'm looking at it at a distance. I'm not sure if I'm a fan. This would need more clasps. Like this. I'm curious how difficult this would be to move around in now that I'm looking at it. I don't think it'd be like too difficult, but I think like the clasps here would cause a little bit of tension that would be kind of annoying or might get in the way. I think Griff would act like Jim Hopper from Stranger Things for some reason. You think he'd be an alcoholic detective that adopts a random magical child he found in the woods? Yeah, probably. Saying all that together. Probably. They kind of nailed it emotionally. Yeah. Okay, I said I was gonna do another version of this. But now I kind of want to give him a more traditional just jacket. Just see what that looks like, so let's give it a shot. It'd be funny to give him like long cuffs because it's too long for his arms. Like they got him the same size as Jack, and they're like, "Oops, sorry, short boy." The magical child would be Russell. Russell's older than him. We're blowing through these pretty quick. What happens when we're done with Russ? So we're gonna start with just like some rough ideas, and then once we're done with Russell, we're gonna go back to Hazel with fresh eyes. I'm gonna take my favorite one and then do 3 more with some alterations, and then maybe do some color tests. We'll see how far we get. We are like an hour in. So we might not get to color, but we'll see. I did say question mark. 9 question mark. Oh man, I'm late to the stream. You're not that late. We've been here for about an hour. We got 2 more to go. Okay. I still think it'd be a bit longer of a jacket. Because when your characters aren't wearing pants, if you stop the jacket like there, I don't really like it. I know I did that with their guard shirts. But meh. Okay, thanks for joining us, Luke. Have a good one. I think Joyce Wheeler... Oh, message retracted. Never mind. Hate that word. Which word? Chortling? Because I also don't like it. No, I don't like that. That looks bad. Marshall can say it though. I don't want to say it again. It's one of those words where the second I say it, I feel like I mispronounced it. I'm like, that's not a real word. I shouldn't be saying that. These kind of buttons. No, that looks bad. I don't like that. For now, let's pretend the clasp is on like the inside or something. I don't know. Maybe like a... Okay, we can either do something like this. Which I think the lining would follow this. No, that doesn't look right. Maybe it just cuts in sooner. Yeah, that looks better. We can either do it like this, or we can give him a hood or something. You already gave him a hood in the previous one, so let's do a classic lapel. Maybe it would come over the... I usually try to avoid putting anything over the neck fluff, but this probably would. Maybe we'll give him a scarf or something with this. I don't know. No, he has the neck fluff. Giving him a scarf would be strange, I feel. I don't like the look of this one so far. Griff looks like he's wearing PJs. Is he wearing a bathrobe? No, no. That's not what I was going for, but that's really funny. This one kind of gives hey kids. Oh no. Yeah. He needs shoes, babe. Okay. Yeah, let's give him some boots or something. Weird little stubby boots. It looks like you have barefoot shoes. I was trying to draw a jacket. Does this help even a little bit? Well, if we gave him like a hat. This one's already goofy, so let's give him a goofy hat. Yeah, let's give him one of those. This is gonna look ridiculous. This already looks so stupid. It's fine. We're gonna give him one of those earmuff ones that don't make any sense for him to have, because that's not where his ears are. I wanted Hazel to get the puffer jacket before the stream, but Marshall said no. A puffer jacket would just look, I think, too silly on her, and like, why would they make puffer jackets? That's more of a modern thing. I was right, this looks really stupid. I actually unironically really like this one. Well, I'm glad you do. I don't. Give her the Marty McFly fit. She would look so snazzy. I don't like it. Let's close this side so it looks... I think it looks bad. I don't like it. I like this one more, but I'm still on the fence about it. Okay, what should we do for this final outfit? Let's see. He looks like a sled runner. Yeah. Weird that you wanted to do the stream idea for like 3 months and you hate all of your ideas. Yeah, because when I'm first just thinking of them, it's fine. It seems like a good idea, and then I put the clothes on them, and I'm like, no, that looks stupid. Let's give him the classic cloak only on one shoulder for some reason. With this. But it's extra poofy. We'll go eccentric with this one. Yeah. Big silly cloak. And then I don't think these cloaks have armholes. It feels weird to not go around his hand. They need belts or something to not look like they're just penguin it with short ass legs. Yeah, this looks very silly. What's going on in this stream? I don't know. It seemed like such a fun idea at the time. Now Griff's out here looking silly. This is his version of the widower who murdered her husband outfit. Like the police show up at your door and you're like, oh no! Drawing Griffith's Caesar New Vegas appears. Yeah. These two are bad. When we come back around, we will play with this one some more. Because I'm not totally happy with it either, but this is the best of the three. These two, silly. Bad. Don't like them. Give him the hat instead of the hood. I like the hat. Maybe. Dude, don't diss the middle one. He looks like a cross between... He looks like an old Russian grandpa in that one, and I don't know why. Oh dear, how unfortunate that my husband has passed. It really is a shame that he fell in that pool as the motorized lid was closing. Really a shame, really. The middle one, I like that. I don't. I think maybe it's the lapels I'm having issue with. I definitely don't like the far one, but I was doing that one as a goof, so I knew it was gonna be bad. Okay. Let's do Russell. For Russell, the only idea that I could really come up with before the stream started was that I wanted it to look kind of like a vest, like still have sleeves, but vest, like there's layers. Similar to Griff, I don't think he would need a ton of winter clothes just because he'd already be pretty fluffy, but let's have some fun with it. Puffy vest? Okay, because you were asking, I will look up a picture of Marty McFly and I will try and match the vibes. Specifically for you, Jasper, for one of them, so you will stop bringing up puffy vests. And it's going on the end one because the end one is always the silly one. If this is the winning outfit, I'm gonna be really pissed. Okay, and then Marty McFly is wearing long sleeves underneath. Why is this dude wearing so many layers? He's wearing like a tank top or a t-shirt, a button-up shirt, what looks like some kind of jean jacket, and then also a vest on top. That's too many layers. Because he doesn't know what temperature the future's gonna be. It was the 80s. I guess both of those things are valid answers. Am I giving him jeans as well? Marshall, have you seen Back to the Future? I have seen Back to the Future, but I saw it when I was like 13, maybe. So it's been a really long time since I watched it. No, Winnie the Pooh. I'm sorry to say this is a strong contender. Okay. Are you happy now, Jasper? Did this fulfill the requirements needed? I think Hazel would be Nancy Wheeler. Fair enough. Wait, no. Yeah, she would be Robin. She wouldn't be Nancy. Do we get to vote at the end for fan favorite even if you don't use it for the official? Yeah, we might as well. We can do votes at the end. Okay. Back to what I wanted to do. Let me pull up the pictures I saved for him. Excuse me. Where did I put those pictures? Right, okay. Why would something from Baby Gap rip if it's supposed to be small for him? Isn't the fit the reason he chose the clothes? They're not getting their clothes from... I mean, the fact that he could wear Baby Gap clothes is really funny to me. But Hazel would be making her family's outfits. Shaped this.
Yeah.
Okay, and then maybe we give him a hood. I'm not gonna draw the hood up, it'll look really silly on him, but... Yeah, I didn't draw his tail in, because from this angle, if it's not like swishing out like this, because it was in the original drawing that I have for this pose, because it's from his character turnaround, but in the character turnaround his tail is just sticking straight out, so it just looks like this from this angle, and it looks really stupid. So I didn't include it. Give him some little drawstrings. Oliver Twist outfit could be funny. Yeah, maybe this will turn into a winter outfit idea into just outfit idea. Underneath, let's get the sweater. Like a big knit sweater. And he would have big pockets. that. Now it's starting to look like a fishing vest. Let's give him... Instead of that, we'll give him the classic, this kind of pocket. Russell wears turtlenecks quite well. Thank you. I kind of want to put him in one of those like toddler snowsuits that are just one big suit. Snowsuit. Oh, do you not have fishing vest pockets? You need them for his trinkets? Yeah, that's fair. I'll give him his pockets back. I just didn't want the 2 rows of square pockets, but I think if we do this, it looks good. Russell, but as the kid from A Christmas Story with too many layers. Wait, I gotta remember what this looks like. Absolutely. I guess Russell's gonna get 2 joke outfits, but that's okay. That's it, mods Hazel into GTA 5. And it looks like he also has a hood up underneath the scarf, which is funny. Right, we gotta give him mittens, of course. Give you degenerates a VR chat Hazel avatar. Maybe we don't do that. This was a good suggestion. I forget who suggested it, but thank you. I suggested it. It's looking great. Thank you, Western Hall. This is very funny. I like this a lot. Looks like there's loads of extra time. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna go back to the start, play with my favorite of Hazel's clothing choices, then do Griff's, then Russell's. But first, we will let Jasper to a fun vote of which of these Russell outfits is the best. Poor guy's going to overheat. What with him already being covered in fur? Yeah, he would die. He would suffocate in this. Oh, I forgot to give him his other glove. I don't have the poll thing open. Okay, I can make the poll. Do outfit 1, 2, and 3. Make sure to be funny or they won't believe it's me. I guess I should have given boots in that first one, but if we go to clean it up, then I'll play around with some boot ideas. I'm not very good at drawing shoes or boots. But it's fine. Outfit 2 makes Russell look like a terrorist. Not great. Jasper, you can't threaten them just because the outfit you wanted is the worst one. I think it would be best to mess with the opacity and erase leftover lines right now. It's a bit hard to see. Yeah, I agree. When we go do a second pass over these, we'll draw in the parts of them that we can see and then get rid of the clear layer. Okay, so it looks like outfit 1 is winning by a lot. I don't think we're gonna get more votes on this one. So outfit 1 is the winner. Yeah, sorry Western Hall. It was a good suggestion. But yeah, we're gonna move back to doing Hazel's outfit. I'm gonna take a quick break to grab a drink though, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. So, we're going to circle back to Hazel. Oop, nope. And before we start drawing, let's do a vote on which one is the winner. But the one I'm going to be going with is this one, because I like it the most. Well, you guys seem to like 3 a lot. She looks like Journey. Cute. I actually love the wraps. It might be my favorite part, but the cloak is really cute. Yeah, I like them too. I think that's part of the design that I'm gonna keep. I might play around with like the look of them a little bit more, but the general idea I think is gonna be hand wraps. Yeah, that's probably it now. I knew number 2 wasn't going to be the winner. It is not good. Yeah. Let us play with this idea a little bit. So I think let's do one where she has a hood. And maybe longer sleeves. Yeah, number 2 was too widowy. We're not gonna give her like the huge sleeve, but we'll give her a little bit of baggy sleeve. Maybe we'll do something kind of similar to Griff's, where she has like an inner cowl piece. You know, it's all been really big except for Russell. Wouldn't Hazel have something close-fitting? We could try something that's a bit more close-fitting, but like cloaks in general I think are a little on the baggy side. And I just picture her liking baggy clothes. Kind of looks like a cult robe. Yeah, a little bit. You got me there. Perhaps a corn cult robe? Sure. Why not? This one needs to be clasped, at least for the first bit. This one so far. Yeah, I don't like this one. I don't think this one is a good choice. But I wanted to play around with the idea, and I did, and that's how you learn if you like something or not. So moving on. Let's try this one with some more layers to it. So maybe similar to the first one. She looks like she's about to sacrifice someone to a greater entity. Yeah. And that's not a Hazel vibe, so we're off. Maybe in this one we'll also give her like a fluffy sweater. Let's give her like turtleneck. Silly already. But with like a cloak on top of that. So we'll do a similar shape to the previous one. Maybe this one is a bit looser on the shoulders. Freaking Persona goes crazy style. How did you... I think I missed something in the conversation. Since the Upside Down is the opposite of everything in Stranger Things, would humans still exist in Graycove? In their Upside Down? I'm gonna say no. What animal would Vecna be? We're not doing this. I don't know. I was thinking that too. I don't think the Upside Down is like the opposite of the real world. I think it's just the grosser version of the real world with monsters. Maybe we'll, similar to Russell's, it'll be something with like 3 layers. So maybe underneath all of this, there's also like a hoodie. We'll have the hood down because hood up on her looks really silly. This also looks pretty silly. I feel like I don't know where to end this. Maybe it's a part of the cloak. It's all the way down. Speaking of the game, where is Crispy? Good question. I was wondering that as well. Crispy is on vacation. Oh, right. I think he mentioned a few weeks ago he was going to like Peru. That is fair. Okay, I really don't like this one. this one I think is okay, but I think this one is still my favorite. But I want to see what you guys think. He also left the Discord out of the blue. Oh. Strange. And then I think whichever one wins, we can do some different colored versions of. Yeah, he left the Discord, but Luke assured us that it's a plan of his. Oh. Okay. I really don't like the hand wraps. Fair enough. To generate hype for the game. Oh, okay. Elaborate birds why shan't the monk wear hand wraps? No hand wraps, I know, like, no fighter, no help with cold. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really like 3 either. I'm kind of surprised that it's winning. Can't tell what's what. Fair enough. I think blocking out with color would fix that. Okay, well, looks like number 3 is the winner. I don't think number 3 is what I'm gonna go with in the comic. Let's just do really basic. Just add something there, I guess. I mean, the Steve and Robin like friendship vibe is kind of what I picture for Hazel and Griff. Like later on in Graycove, obviously. Not right now. Right now, Griff does not like her very much. But, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. You can make some off-screen tweaks if needed. Yeah, when these outfits come up in the story is so far away that I'm probably going to redesign them a couple of times. So it might end up looking nothing like this, but this is just kind of a brainstorming session for myself to think about it. And to just try designing clothes, because I haven't had to do that for a really long time, for obvious reasons. And it's kind of fun. Okay, so I'm gonna test out different shoes and hats, and see what we come up with. So I think this one, similar to the wraps, it's not gonna cover her hooves really. Just something to kind of keep her ankles warm. Something like this. This feels like something you'd see on a horse. That's fine. Russell did say at the start of the chapter that this trip they're on would possibly be their last forage before the winter, so I was hyped for Fluffy Hazel. But it seems like it might be further than I imagined. Yeah, love you, Queen of Graycove, keep hearting, thank you. Winter's gonna be just starting near the end of the first story arc. So it's gonna be a bit of a ways away, and like we're not... If we get into like book 2 and everything, which again is very far away, I don't think we're going to be staying in winter for a long time. I think there'll be a bit of a time jump. The Queen of Graycove should be named Marshall. I don't want to insert myself as a character into Graycove. I don't like the idea of that. Don't worry, you'll find the perfect winter look for her eventually. Yeah, and like there's lots of time. There's not like a overwhelming time pressure like there is for me to design something very specific and important for this chapter that I've done about 100 rough sketches for and hate all of them. But I'm hoping that overwhelming time pressure will get me to figure it out. But it's not something I can design with you on stream because it is a big, big, big spoiler. Okay. Maybe one of them is just classic boots. I'm going to ungray your cove. That's funny. Maybe the top is fluffy. Control S? Yeah, that's a good idea. It has been a while, you're right. I only really have to worry about it crashing and closing if I'm trying to open something else, because it really hates opening JPEGs for whatever reason. I was able to at one point. You're supposed to be able to open them in Photoshop, but my computer just immediately, the program crashes anytime I try to do that, and I haven't been able to fix that. Too fluffy. Doesn't match the other boot. are kind of cute. I don't know. What should we do for this last one? I mean, she has the sweater top. We'll give her like the leg warmers that you see on ballerinas. And we'll just make them tall so it's slightly different from the other one. Actually, we should show the top of it. It's gonna look like the sweater goes down. It's like a one piece. That looks silly. I like it. Okay, let me look at some hats really quickly. Would there be elite class animals in the Graycove universe that like to flaunt their elegance by wearing elegant looking clothing for the sake of showing off to other animals? Yeah, I feel like any group that you have, if you have rich people within that society, they would find some way to flaunt that, whether that's wearing like jewelry or clothing or like some kind of ornament that they can show off to differentiate themselves from like poor people. But I think in general the hides of their enemies, yeah. I think it depends on which group you're looking at how they would do that. Because like the king does wear like a gold pendant on his shoulder with a little crown on it, but I think besides that the people that live in Graycove don't do a ton of that. But for the hyenas, like having some way of showing like how many battles I've won and stuff like that would be more important for them and their culture. So like having the matriarch wearing the pelt and wearing like claws and other stuff like that, like the bones on her shin would be her form of like flaunting of like, this is how strong and powerful I am. I've, you know, killed many and had big battles, so this is how I show that. These kids in young grades keep wanting to read Blades of Fury or Tales from Graycove. I mean, we put so many warnings everywhere we can that the story isn't meant for children because we go into more serious topics and like there is some level of violence. Rich in battle experience, exactly. Okay, let's give her like a classic beanie for one. I think for this look her ears would have to be tucked in, so it's one of those like really long baggy ones. So it looks a little weird because you can see that, but we'll go in and erase some of that or cover it up. This looks silly. And I'm picturing it with like a big pom-pom on the bottom, but obviously from this angle we can't show that, so just imagine it. Okay, no, I don't like how that looks. Let's try that again. Something more like this. It kind of looks like a hairnet. Okay, I don't hate it. Yeah, let's get one of these hats. One of those hats with the little ear flaps. And this will be another one where her ears are down, so we'll have them like kind of peeking like this. So this part is ear. This part is hat. I feel like there would have to be some kind of bump from her ear. Okay, I'm just going a little tall with it. Maybe we'll have, it's got like the little tassel-y thing at the end. Very silly. Okay, and then I guess we'll just give her one toque with her ears sticking out. Okay. I think this one is my favorite. I guess it would help keep her head warm. It wouldn't help her ears at all. This one kind of looks like a hairnet in my opinion, and this one just looks kind of awkward. So I'm leaning towards this one, but I'm not happy with all of them, to be honest. And then for legs, I think this one, but it matches a little too closely to her sweater, so I'm on the fence. Maybe the boots. Let's see what you guys think. I want to know We'll start with the leg wraps boots. The boots really tie the outfit together. Yeah. And then I think let's put these all together. I'm just gonna quickly steal these. I think it'd be nice if this outfit had something similar. Sorry, I keep wanting to zoom in, but I should let you guys see what you're voting for. Yeah. Looks like 2 is winning, and I don't want to wait any longer, so let's just end the poll. Let's see what chats you guys like. I'm leaning towards number 3, but we'll go with whatever wins. Actually, I should probably save that. Yeah, looks like it's gonna be 3. Competitive readers. Yeah, 3 is most definitely winning. Perfect. Okay. quickly sketch in where we can actually see Hazel. And we're just gonna do this super duper roughly, because ultimately what she looks like isn't the important thing here, it's just the clothing. There. And let's throw some colors down. Again, just very, very roughly. It's not really important if there's some bleed over the lines. I believe Disney made its first AI produced show on Disney Junior named Ozzy Fox. I'm honestly surprised it took them this long. Well, thank you for joining us, Time Lost Cross. Have a good rest of your evening. Okay. Alright. To reiterate, are milk products weird to possess or consume in Graycove? See, I'm kind of on the fence about that because it feels gross when you start to really think about it. Chicken milk. So I'm not sure. I'm on the fence because it's a little gross to think about. But on the other hand, then they would never have cheese. And what a horrible way to live. I think I want to start with the outer cloak. And I think for this one, I'm going to make it like a nice warm orange. I'd say same species would be normal. Yeah, I don't know, cause like, if you think about it as a person, most people would be grossed out by the idea of just buying human breast milk. That's kind of very gross. So I don't know, maybe it's just within their own family. They'll make cheese. I don't know, I'll think about it. Okay, and then I think a brown for this. Just pick a milk alternative, you weirdo. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have almonds. They could make oat milk, maybe? How do you make oat milk? Like, what's the process? How technical is it? Or yeah, soy, maybe? Would Griffin Russell get bullied if they dated as two men in Graycove trying to write the city as accurately as possible in the fic? I mean, they wouldn't have, like, homophobia is not a thing, just flat out, because I don't want it to be a thing in Graycove, so that would not be the reason, but I feel like the size difference would weird people out. Now with the professions weird people, I mean, actually, yeah, that'd probably be a bigger problem. Yeah, that's a fair point, Jasper. I haven't thought about it because we're not doing couples in Graycove. But I think the big shocker would be like, wow, Griff really hates that guy. This doesn't make sense. basically what a friend Johnson when I told him we were dating. That is a good point. Yep. Okay. And then I think this inner hoodie part, I would want to match it with the cloak. It'd be a similar color, so maybe a bit paler. Oh, no, I don't like that. That's too flesh colored. I like a gray. I don't like that either. Maybe it's more of a peach. It's still a little flesh colored. Maybe we're focusing too much on orange. Maybe it's more of like an olive. Yeah, I don't hate that. And then we can use the same green for the embroidery, I think. Or maybe a bit darker, but... to help tie it together a little bit. Fill the void of my missing best friend is not a good reason to date someone. Yeah. Well, now that you say that, that's kind of the plot of Life is Strange. Except it was an old friend returning also, so I guess it's a little different, but... yeah, that's true. It was Girl I Loved Before replaces Girl I Loved After. Okay, I kind of like this. Let's make the boots the same brown that the cloak has. Basic. So light gray for the fluff is fine. Okay, and then the sweater isn't part of the cloak, so I think I want that to be a blue, darker than this. Yeah, I think this complements the orange of the cloak. Similar blue to their guard uniform, I think. Yeah, very close. That's fun. Would the king have a harem? No. Her hat will match her sweater. Okay, so there's color palette 1. Let's do another one. I think for this one I want green to be the main color. I mean, Jasper, don't spoil Life is Strange. They might have never played it and want to, and that's a big reveal. If that is what happens. Maybe the leaves on this one are orange, because that's kind of fun. Let's give it a little bit more of a reddish tint. Maybe we'll do like a lighter green for here. Yeah, no, we're staying out of the Discord. That is a you guys space, not an us space. If you want us to see stuff, then post it in the community page and we will. I need a rule for using the community page more. I mean, I don't think you need a rule. It's just if you want me to see something, like fan art or a theory or whatever, I don't know what you guys talk about, but I assume it's that, then just post that on the community page. Otherwise, I won't see it, and I mean, you might want that. So it's up to you guys. Yeah, it's a suggestion. But I don't think you need to make it a hard rule. I did draw Tales from Graycove art math class until my math teacher said it was bad and made me cry. Well, that's rude. My old math teacher used to get mad at me for trying in class as well. He never told me it was bad, he would just get mad at me for doing it. Do you take evil math on 101 Hell Street at Hell School with Mr. Satan? That's funny. I feel like I've never had a nice math teacher. I don't know what it is about math, but I feel like every math teacher I've ever had is either really mean or just clearly hates his job and everyone in the class, even if he's not necessarily mean about it. It's like, yeah, this guy does not want to be here. My last math teacher used to take her shoes off. It was weird. That's funny. I was surprisingly good at math in high school for how much I really suck at doing math now as an adult. I mean, I'm kind of just flipping the colors of this one, but I'm kind of into it, so let's give her an orange sweater. Yeah, I think at this point, the only thing I really remember from like my final years of high school math and doing like pre-calc and stuff is the quadratic formula, because our teacher taught it to us at the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel. Because he knew that we would never be able to forget it. So we took our final exam in like the huge gymnasium where it's like 4 classes taking a math exam at once. And you could just hear people humming Pop Goes the Weasel throughout the gym. So what's happening? We're trying to make winter outfits for these characters, and most of them are really bad. I'm happy with this one so far. And maybe we'll give her the blue toque for this one as well. Just for a little added pop of color. Anyways, bye. Okay. Thanks for joining us. The blue stands out a lot on the left, kind of breaks the earthy theme for me. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling as well. I think I'll give her blue boots for this one. Maybe. So the blue is more of an accent color in the middle one, I think. It's used a little less. I think I like the left one more though. But let's do this one and we'll give her a blue cloak for this one. We'll change it from this blue to something a little bit. Maybe something like this, a little more vibrant. Oh. Stream died? Maybe we lost Wi-Fi? We policy violated?
Apparently. What does it say?
I don't see anything.
Okay. Switch to break.